Hey, what's going on? I'm sitting here playing Ghost Recon Future Soldier, trying to get into lobbies. I figured I'll record a commentary about the UAV and the engineer class overall, what is happening, because it takes so damn long to find matchmaking in this game, in the frickin' beta. Anyhow, this is the engineer class. I'm using the SMG that comes with it, and I overgassed it to make it like a rapid fire. The class, when you get it up to level 4, will allow you to have both sensor grenades and a UAV that you pilot manually. I got those things both active. I feel like when the game comes out, I might not use UAV when it comes to that decision, and instead go with the handheld thing that makes it so you cap objectives faster. So here's how the sensor things work. You throw it down, in a certain area, any enemies will show up red through the walls like that. So as you can see, I throw the sensor down and pretty much make mincemeat out of them. The UAV works the same way, except that you have to pilot it and sort of put the enemies in the camera crosshairs for them to show up red. I'll show you here. I was sort of spawn trapping them, the enemy, and in order to see what was going on around the corner, instead of try to engage the enemy at long range, I decided to hide on this building right here and then drop down and get my eagle on, throw out the UAV, get an idea what's going on, not to sense the enemies and put them in a red crosshair, but just to cover my own back. So I see this enemy's flanking me, so I decided to go and root him out. Now I could have actually let the UAV sit there and hover in the air and it would have auto-sensed anything in that specific direction, but I decided to recall it because, I don't know, I accidentally held L2 down too long. Honestly, I wanted to leave it up, but so that's how that happens. A game just started, so I'm gonna time out here and comment on the rest of this in the next lobby because this shit's so addictive I can't stop playing it. Alright, so that match started and then instantly I got kicked out of it. I think the host couldn't handle the signal. One thing about this game is it is player versus player, and that's whack. Or player peer-to-peer, so that's whack. Anywho, so this is me on the next objective. The friendly was already there, and I figured I wasn't going to be able to run up in time to affect it as much if I had just flown the UAV up there and given him a little intel. So I did that, parked it up there. As you can see it on the top right of the screen, it's actually hovering over that objective, continuing to feed out intel, and I'm getting, you know, intel assist, which give you high XP. Looks like when you're piloting it, you get 300 XP for an intel assist, and when it's just statically hovering there like that, you get a 200 intel XP assist, so whatever that's worth, it's something to know. Then as you can see, I helped get this objective. I just told the one guy who was already there where everybody was, and it's a great way to conduct teamwork. At a certain level, I believe the engineer, maybe it's the rifleman, or maybe it's all classes, I haven't checked, pretty sure it's the engineer, you can unlock the jammer, which I will certainly be using a lot of to jam enemy equipment. You can also, if you hit a UAV with a sniper shot, it'll take it down, or a few bursts off an assault rifle. Now you can see here, you can pretty much use the UAV in any situation other than in your spawn. You can't deploy it from your spawn, it'll say unavailable, but you can get pretty close to in your spawn and still deploy it. So as you can see here, I sent it forward to the objective, and you can just see the whole frickin' other team was in there, like it was headquarters on Call of Duty or something like that, and they ended up getting completely killed as I was giving intel. Now here's something I realized. If you send your UAV into the enemy spawn and it's about to be destroyed, because it auto-destroys when it's out of range, you can hold down L2 and it'll recall your UAV, which is it'll put it right back in your hands and then you can throw it out again. So if you're ever about to lose it for whatever reason, it's in their spawn or the enemies are shooting at it, starting to take damage, and you don't want to lose it, just hold down L2 and it'll freaking come right back to you. Alright, about to join another game. Be right back. And I'm back. So, I'll show you just like the basics of flying it. This was my first flight. I found out that you couldn't deploy it in your spawn during this game. So you switch from your sensors to your UAV, and then you deploy it with L2 and it starts to fly away. You control it left, right, board backwards with the left joystick, and then you obviously go up and down with the trigger and the aim down sights button. You can press X to change the view to a different style of camera, a grayer, whiter camera. I don't know why it's even in there. I don't use it. I just use the default camera. You can exit the camera by pressing L2 or left bumper on Xbox, or if you hold it down, it'll give it back to you. So it's important that you remember which one you want to do. What I'm about to do here is I'm going to go ahead and set the camera up in an area and then walk away and let it continue to work for me. Alright, so here on the mill map, I decide to deploy the little UAV, fly him over to the place where the enemy is going to be coming from because of the objective that we're defending. And then I press L2 once, just tap it, and now that UAV is going to be pointed in that direction, and anybody who walks into those crosshairs is going to show up red, as you can see through the walls and shit. Then I decided I wanted to actually get a side angle on it, so I pressed L2, got back in the UAV, flanked over to the side here so I can get people that are standing behind that little building on the right and behind the graveyard thing, and then I get back to playing, which is a good thing because I was starting to be suppressed. So now my UAV is still flying over there, standing still, mind you. Easier to shoot down, but if they don't know where it is, don't realize it, it'll just stay there. And it's given my whole team intel in that area. Meanwhile, I can use my sensors to check on where the enemy is that's shooting in my direction. I didn't see him near me on the sensor grenades, so I advance, knowing there's nobody over here. And really, this engineer class, man, if you're not the world's best shooter, this is the way to help your team out. So now that I'm in this area and I don't know where that enemy is still, I decided to fly my drone over towards me to give myself cover. Never saw anybody, so he must have been way off in the distance or already got killed. I see there's an enemy coming from my teammate, so I decided to shift focus back to them, leave that camera flying up there, and you can see that guy. I know exactly where he is. So I'm going to go ahead and try to flank around him. I mean, this is intel-rich game, dude. I thought I really didn't like it at first when I didn't know how to use it, but it's been a few days and I've just discovered this engineer class and started using it, and man, it turns you into a super soldier, dude. You're so valuable to your team, everything you can do. Like there, my UAV gave me the intel on that guy. I was able to put him into mortally wounded state, hack his data, and now I have all the enemy locations. It's like one thing begets another thing, and suddenly you become just hyper aware of everything that's going on the battlefield. It's such an advantage. Plus, when enemies are highlighted red like that, they're through either UAV or data hack or sensor grenade, nobody can spawn on them. So once you do a data hack, you've essentially made it so every downed enemy has to respawn in the freaking spawn and run to the objective. It's such a game changer, and really valuable for effecting victory. I'm definitely going to be rocking the engineer class a lot more often now that I've figured it out. And now you know how to use it too. You're welcome.
You've got intel on hostile forces.